stolen my driver's license and then tried to open up a bunch of credit cards. I have to say it's demoralizing. It's like life is hard enough. Like today, I feel like I just want to sit down and cry instead of work on this roof. But how many cameras do you have set up?
Yeah, so there's 2 cameras set up, one pointing towards the parking and one pointing towards the mailbox.
And this is what the mailbox camera recorded. Most folks would call this place unlivable. We call it an engineering problem. Acres of northern bush, no road, no power, no easy way in. We haul by boat, we haul by sleigh, we winch through muskeg. And we engineer comfort in a place that gives nothing for free. Like when we were kids building forts in the forest. Only now the trees are bigger, and so are the dreams. Not feeling so good. Identity theft happened. Started getting messages. Yeah, somebody's stolen my driver's license and then tried to open up a bunch of credit cards. I don't want to get into the details, but on hold with multiple banks for like way too long, waiting to talk to somebody just to tell them that it's a fraudulent thing. Was trying to open up credit cards in my name. They just said there's hard hits on your credit score. I have to say it's demoralizing. It's like life is hard enough, but when you're sitting there like filing police reports and all this other stuff. Like today, I feel like I just want to sit down and cry instead of work on this roof. But working on the roof, take my mind off things. Okay, let's get this done. So the scaffolding needs to come down on this side. Work my way up here. The scaffolding's got to come down. She's done her job for now and she's in the way of the rafter tails. No sense trying to work around something when it only takes a half an hour to move it. Mind you, I wouldn't get too attached to seeing it gone. There's a fair chance it'll come back out when it's time to put the steel on. A fella can do a lot of things on a 50-degree roof, but balancing up there while trying to wrestle a ridge cap into place isn't one of the smarter ones. We'll worry about that when the time comes. Around here, there's always another problem waiting its turn. Toss that 2x6 down and not crazy either. I just threw it level and it just snapped in half. While I'm fooling around with this, have a look around in the background. That's what keeps drawing me back up here. By the afternoon, the sun's had a chance to warm everything up. You get that smell of leaves and young poplar baking in the sunshine. The little ponds wake up, the breeze finds its way through the trembling aspens, and the whole bush settles into that lazy afternoon feeling. You won't find many places left where the loudest thing you'll hear is the wind arguing with the trees. Makes a fellow slow down a little, and that's not such a bad thing. I don't want to damage the stovepipe, that's the thing. But I can't get the last screws out because uh-oh. Oh. Whoa. Oh. Ouch. Oh. Crud here. I came through here with the lawnmower a couple days ago. There was a bird that flew out, had kind of a longish beak. I feel pretty bad. I guess that's why I need to just make sure that I keep the grass cut so that they can find appropriate places that I kind of feel bad. They're beautiful looking eggs. Want to get this bottom one right. It's important. It's got two jobs. It centers the rest of the roof. Everything else is measured relative to it, but it's also, you know, straightening out the bottom of these false rafter tails while I assemble it all. I wouldn't normally join on this one here. It's just that this one's flat and the one I would join on is twisted and I don't want to be able to pull it straight. And on these, I'm using expensive structural screws again, just because they've got a wide head. They don't pull down into the wood quite as much as a deck screw. I mean, I could throw a couple deck screws in too, but I want something good and solid. Deck screws, the heads pull down. All lumber is somewhat twisty and bowed and whatever. A lot of the trick comes down to using the right type of inconsistency for the right job. So here I want it straight. This one's twisted, which is fine. It'll screw down tight. What I don't want is it bowed. Other ones up here, it's all right if there's a bit of a bow because the screws on the roof will come up, will line up. But this one I'm gonna be measuring all the other ones off of, so I want it straight. Okay, so, whoop. Oh no, okay, that's not what I wanted. Probably the best thing to do is to bring that out a little bit. There we go. Just a ½ inch, but it's enough. There's little mistakes like that. I mean, it's not a mistake, but I have to correct it, right? Yeah, some people can leave it. Essentially, two wrongs make a right, which they do. It's just that I learned over the years, especially in engineering projects, that if you make a mistake and then you have to make a kludge to make up for that and another kludge and another kludge, eventually they start catching up to you. So I just learned over time that it was better just to take it apart and redo it. Move the ladder again. It's not a big deal. It tends to work for me. That's that row. I'm ready to put the gussets in. Get the eave on. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, till the sun goes down? Doesn't seem like it. Let me see. 1, 2, 3 hours, yeah, that's right. Now this stuff is great, this construction adhesive. The other day when I was like putting ones on the other side, I pulled the screw out and I couldn't move it. The adhesive did its job, which is, it did it well. So the rule out here is you may get one bite and then you're like, okay, now I gotta solve this situation and put some spray on. What I found is that this technique here keeps the mosquitoes away. You really don't even need to put it on your skin because the mosquitoes, mostly they stay away. This time of the day, there's a shadow in front of the porch and the other side of the, in the Argo, and the mosquitoes will hang around there. But they don't like the smell of the DEET, so they won't come or upstream from the wind. If I put the spray on and it keeps them away, if I start to sweat, it smells more. Just nicer than putting it on your own skin. If it's really bad, you got to put it on your skin too. So because these edges, I have to, the ends are the only ones where the gusset can't line up. So I have to extend it out a little bit like that. So now the edge of the false rafter tail lines up with the other edge. So that's the start. These are for the strings. Okay, time for the string. So what I'll do is just wrap it around a couple times. Okay, we are ready to go. Make it a little bit easier this time. Sometimes the plywood isn't exactly straight, which will cause this to be angled in or out. If it's angled in, it's fine. This will pull out when I screw it in. If it's angled out, it's still fine, it'll pull back. But you always want to make sure that this back corner is flush. It was a lot of struggle on the other side, you know, for the ones that were coming out. We're good, let's I'll get through these. I'm gonna go glue up a bunch. I gotta install the gussets first. Few folks got a chuckle out of me saying I wanted this cabin to last 100 years while I was out here gluing things together. Now, I'm no construction adhesive expert, but I do know polyurethane. I've spent years designing and building equipment that processes it, and one thing I can tell you is that once it's cured and kept out of the sun, it's remarkably durable. Anyone who's worked with polyurethane foam knows there's no magic solvent that'll dissolve it later. Once it's set, about the only way you're getting rid of it is with a chisel. The screws are what holds everything together while you're building it. The polyurethane glue turns all those individual pieces into one solid assembly. Once the glue cures, the joint's stiffer, there's less opportunity for things to work or shift over the years, and the screws aren't carrying the load all by themselves. Do you have to glue it? Not at all. But I've always figured that if I could spend a few extra minutes today to make something a little stronger, I'll probably sleep better tonight. That's just the engineer in me. Hi, baby. How are you? Pardon me?
I said I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
I am heading to Canadian Tire.
Okay, I gotta call him. Let me call him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I will hang out here a little bit.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Okay, bye.
Bye.
You have reached mailbox number 5.
While I'm up here, we're doing a little reconnaissance back home. Becca's going to pick up my kid, and the two of them are going to put some security cameras on the mailbox. The reason's pretty straightforward. I know the address was used as part of the identity theft. If mail is being sent there, it stands to reason that somebody somewhere has to be collecting it. But who that is, or whether that's even connected to the identity theft, I have no idea. But putting a camera on the mailbox seemed like a good place to start. Everything's there, that's the venting channels. And we gotta put the eaves on now. It's looking good. Jeez, it's exciting to get this side done. It wasn't too bad. The other side was a lot of thinking. Thinking takes time. Hello? Hey? You there?
You remember the password for the thing? All lowercase?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Do you know how to change?
Like the night vision?
Yeah, because you wanted me to turn that off.
Yeah, like I am not sure if that can be turned off. It may not be turned off, be able to be turned off, but it may be bright enough out there that it doesn't need it. I guess we'll have to test.
Yeah,
Are any of the cameras working?
I'm getting it.
All right.
Slowly. All right.
Okay, bye. Like, is it doing motion record now?
Well, it's recording now, so I think it's on like its little. Yeah, it just stopped.
Is it hidden well?
Hidden well, yeah. Like I walk past, unless you're looking for it, you're not gonna see it.
What about one down on the floor, like pointing up towards the mailbox?
I don't know how I'm gonna hide that, but I can try.
Put it in a cardboard box?
It could.
Yeah, I would say like, and honestly, I'd rather have like a really good shot than have the camera hidden, just to be clear, because nothing is more infuriating than, you know, seeing something but not actually seeing anything. And then, okay, thanks, man.
Yep.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
It's not cold. I just case the bugs. Just need to figure out how to put the stand together here. Goes that way. Okay, so that looks like on here is 14. That is pretty damn convenient. Now, I've been resisting this because I didn't want to set it up. It's not that I didn't want to set it up. I didn't want to run into a situation where, like I got to store it now. I got to store it. I don't have space in the cabin, but it's going to have to go in the cabin until I get the other tent set up. If this is ever going to be a game changer. Like, I love this, you know, I can just adjust right here with the setting. I don't know how you clamp it though. This is probably not the right way to do this, but my miter won't do a 14. I could mark it. Now, let's see. Just take your time. That wasn't bad. Well, that's a nice, perfect 14-inch cut. Boy, is that measurement ever convenient. It looks wide. I don't know. Let's see how this looks. It's weird because I measured it, it was 14. It seems to be a little long. It's all right. I'll cut it down. 13 3/4. I think I'll go with 13 5/8. It's a lot nicer actually. It's pretty easy to use. So this is our ridge cap. Now we need to, essentially we want the metal roof to come in here, and we need the vented closures at the top there. So, I mean, I got to figure out how far the metal roof comes up. It steps up by like an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch. This is the product right here that provides the seal, and it looks like. Hello?
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you? Who am I talking to? Joel, hey. It's Trevor calling. Yeah. So, okay, I'm just working on aligning these sheets. I got a question for you. I have these vented closures for the top of the roof at the ridge cap, right?
Yep.
Does that go underneath the lower part of that, or is it supposed to go underneath the upper part? Like
So that one gets installed. It's adhesive. You put it onto the top of your sheets.
Yeah. So you put it on the top of the sheets. I'm just wondering, how does the ridge cap line up with it? Like the ridge cap has a stepped area, right?
I would put it on the bottom 3 inches of the ridge cap.
Okay.
The last kick out there, and then I would probably put it in the center of 3 inches, give or take, and then put the screw through it.
Okay. Because I'm looking at it. It doesn't have much. Maybe if it's 3 inches on that bottom kick out, there's like a 1/2 inch on either side once that piece goes in, right?
But yeah, you might be right, about a 1/2 inch on either side, because if the pieces are 2 inches wide.
Yeah, yeah, 2 inches wide, yeah. Do I screw, like, do I need space above there, like under the ridge cap? Do I screw the sheets? Do I make wood high enough so that I screw the sheets above the ridge cap before I put the ridge cap on, or is it suitable just to use
You don't want to screw what's going to be beneath the ridge cap, or else the screws are going to interfere.
Yeah. Well, not if they're up in the.
Well, way up there.
Yeah. No, but you're answering my.
I don't see it necessary.
Yeah, you're answering my question. Is I'm going to go through each ridge, through the ridge cap, and that's going to do the holding of both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yep, that's all I wanted to know. Okay, thanks.
Alrighty.
Thanks, Joel.
Perfect.
Have a good day. Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Okay, yeah.
Well, that answers that, right? You call the experts, and so that means like I need the metal roof just to come right up to here, basically, which provides a good vented area, and then the air can kind of run back through here. The other thing I got to do is, you see this like wasp nest up there? I got to get rid of it. The wasps are in there. Oh, they're kind of flying around. I'm gonna get that poison spray that shoots way up there, because these guys got to go. I'm all for nature, but not on my stuff. Probably pedantic, but putting 2x4s in there. I also got to there's 13 more structural screws that have to go to hold the battens down. So I got my work cut out for me. Let's measure the top. Let's get the harness on and get up there, and I'm just gonna start whacking stuff out so that we can, I'd like to see something with the metal roof get done today. We also got to get the end caps on, and I don't even have like snips. Ugh. So what we need is this gonna go up another, wow. These should have gone higher. So it's definitely 2x6. If I put this here, I need 2 1/4 plus another 1.5. I mean, it's fine. It's gonna be good. So it's 11 inches from this batten. I didn't have enough when I put these counter battens up, because they didn't have them in stock. I just put up 3 per, and then I picked some more when I went down south where they were in stock. So what I got to do, I cut these off of the one that's gonna go up here. So I got a good idea now how to do this. 134, okay. I don't know how this is gonna go. Like, thousands of dollars worth of roofing material, and I've never done it before. I don't want to screw it up. That's the problem. So I'm gonna just I always like to align it at the end so it's proper. So I put this little screw here so I can set the wood on. I gotta go back and get the 2x6. Ouch. So this board is important because this is what the roof ends up on. Gives me that edge, but it's also where the ridge cap goes in and all the closures and stuff. So I wanted to make sure I fitted the two pieces at the top to make sure that the width between them is good for venting, and also to make sure that we can properly screw the ridge cap in. Okay, that's the one. Awesome. It's good to see stuff coming together. Gotta say, I like the DeWalt tape measure better than the Stanley, because you can really, like, the Stanley is kind of floppy. If I use the DeWalt, there's a lot more staying power. Like, I can hold it out like that and catch the edge. 142.5. Okay, I'll go cut the other one. I'm a metric guy. Canadians are metric people. Not when we're building, unfortunately, but metric's a little bit easier once you're doing it. I do both. But if I gotta go to like just a smidge less than 134 inches, which I don't have to here, but if I have to, then in my head, instead of saying like, what would it be, 133 and 63 64ths, 63 60 quarters, whatever that is, like that's the problem with the imperial system, you know. So what I do is I would go 134 minus, and that just tells me shave off a smidge when you go and cut it, or when you mark it, or however you want to do it. That's worked well for me. Something I adopted while building this cabin, 134 minus or 134 plus, you know, just a smidge, which is a smidge. 10 thousandths of an inch actually is a smidge if you look it up. I'm just joking. Okay. Good. Yeah, these structural screws, they're definitely more expensive. I found that the Simpson strong tie is the most cost-effective solution, and they're great. I'm really happy with them. I've used both. I think it's a GRK or whatever. I have them, I use them, but for the price, these Simpson strong ties can't be beat. Link in the description. No, we don't do that. If you're in Canada and you want help from a hardware store, Home Hardware, you know, like, they're awesome. They've helped so much. I went into the other store, the orange store, kind of argued with me about roof windows, that they were skylights, and I was like, no, they're not. And then when I said, I need to order this, they were like, it's not in stock. And I said, well, that's why you got to order it. Anyways, it is what it is, and it isn't what it isn't. If you see, I got that blocking in between. I got to do one up there. That's in. I got to do the other side here. It's a little thing, but it's a nice thing. It made me feel better doing it. That's all I know. I got a warm and fuzzy feeling. 10.5 minus. Okay, so it's that time of the day when we ask ourselves, is it 40 or is it 50? I think it's 50. It's a 50-degree roof, but every cut on an angle, is either 40 or 50, because 40 plus 50 equals 90. So if we go 45, if it was a 45, then it would be easy. Every cut would be 45, but it's not. It's a 50-degree roof. So we're gonna go like this. Whoop. Well, we can do a 90 to this. It needs to be 2.5 inches. So I'm gonna eyeball the 90, and what we'll do, cut this puppy down. I gotta go put this up there. I think the best thing for you to do is just wait down here and watch. I'll be back in a sec. Okay. I'm not going to use the impact gun because that wasp nest is right there. I don't know. I don't want them to freak out. Oh, they didn't like that. They're gonna have to go, and I'll be happy to torch their nest. I thought that would be less noise, but the bit just, well, maybe if I go to, yeah, lower speed, the lower speed works better. What? Well, that looks damn good. Look at that. Look at that. I don't like the little piece of stuff hanging out, but whatever. Looks like exactly 3. If it's not, yeah, I don't know. 277.5 inches from one end of the roof to the other. Now, I wish my calculator did a modulus. If you don't know what modulus is, that's fine. We can manually calculate the modulus. 277.5 divided by 36 is 7.70833. 7.70833. Now I'm going to subtract 7 from it. So I've got 0.70833. I'm going to multiply that by 36. That gives me 25.5, almost exactly. 25.5. I'm going to shift it in. This is the edge of the roof. I'm going to have a ridge right here. So it's 1 inch for the peak to be centered from the edge. So these are our flashings here. And in this bundle, there's 2 types. There's one, which is the drip edge, and the other one, which is the rake flashing. So it looks like the center of the peak 2 inches from the edge. So the center of the peak would normally be 1 inch away from the edge, but we can make it 2 inches away. Future Trevor here. Just a quick explanation of what's going on, because if you're not following along in the video, I don't blame you. It's pretty difficult to see what's going on. Some people like to hear the explanations and what I'm thinking through, so I figured I'd give it a little bit of detail here. Basically, there's 2 ways to do the flashing at the gable end of the roof. There's this option, which is the gable rake flashing that goes kind of over top. And then there's this kind of, you just put a drip edge. This is like a lot more straightforward, but it's kind of hokey. Since this is Becca's cabin, going with the fancier but a lot harder gable rake. Putting the sheeting down, imagine the roof is a lot longer, but I'm kind of giving the idea that you have 2 options to keep the roof symmetrical. You can either have a ridge in the very center of the roof, or you can have a valley in the very center of the roof. Turns out I calculated both ways, if my calculations are correct. If I put the gable rake here, it's going to interfere with that ridge. Now the guy at the shop said, well, we just do whatever and then we fold it and bend it and whatever to get. I don't want to do that. I want to make sure it's good from the beginning. So it turns out if I put a rib at the center, I can't get the gable rake flashings on without hammering the ridges down or whatever. If I do a valley center, this is how the ends are going to look. They're going to look like that. So if I come along and use the snips and take this part off here at that end and this part off here at that end, then I'm going to get this gable rake that will come over. I can still put a fastener to hold it down to the roof. I can also add butyl tape here and butyl tape in here. Even if I didn't put butyl tape here on the 50-degree slope, if water got down under here, it would just be forced to run down the roof. Okay, I gotta go to town, pick up some supplies, but I will be back. You guys wait here. Oh, you can't go with shoes, because if the Argo gets stuck, you need to have boots. remember, even on a calm day, you get a nice wind. Bugs don't hang around you. Looks good. Feeling good about the metal going up. I needed to get some stuff. I needed to get the snips. Came back and I'm like, no, I want to get some of this up. Get to work. Get to work. Well, that's the first metal up there. I think it looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Let's take a look. We're ready to put the roof metal on. That's the next step. Looks pretty good. Happy to see that. Let me take a picture for Becca.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
I saw your video.
Did you see the
picture.
Did you see the picture I just sent you now?
No, not that one, but I saw the picture. That's nice. Yeah, I saw it now. I saw the picture on video.
Oh, okay. No, I'm talking about the green metal trim that's on there.
Yeah. I saw it.
Yep, that's the first metal that's up there. Now the roof needs to go on.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, okay, I'm gonna let you go and get to editing.
Okay.
Okay.
Have a good night.
I love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Love you too.
I thought for sure they'd be destroyed. A little bit of dirt on this one, but now I wish I didn't cut it open, because now I got to worry about keeping it all clean. Okay, so I have
Before we get back to the build, I'd like to thank Blue Eddy for sponsoring today's video and for sending us their 350 watt solar panel for the Apex 300. Now, anybody who's been following this project knows I'm usually stubborn about buying equipment. If something doesn't pull its weight, it doesn't stick around for long. What I like about the Apex 300 is you don't have to build your whole electrical system on day one. You can start with a single unit, add batteries later if your needs grow, and even tie multiple units together. That's a pretty sensible way to do it, especially when a cabin has a habit of growing right along with your ambitions. If you're just getting started, I'd probably pair it with one of Blue Eddy's folding solar panels. That's exactly what I'm doing for now.
So I've moved the panel here, set it up right about here. My arm's pointing straight up, so we're in line with the sun. The panel's tilted up a bit so there's airflow behind because it keeps the panels cooler, and hotter panels are less efficient. They do less power. So interestingly, 275. Panels were laying flat and I was getting 275. Now they're up, still getting 275. Should have expected them to do a little bit better, but this is definitely more than enough to keep the fridge and Starlink running indefinitely. It will charge during the day. 280 watts. It's a 350 watt panel. And there's a little bit of cloud cover, but not much. I don't know if the sun, but if you kind of watch, like air conditioner's running right now, Starlink, computer, everything. It's almost half of my load, which means just by doing that, I have increased. It is pretty cool because if you look at that, it's about 650 watts with the fridge and the air conditioning and everything going. 300 watts on the panel is cutting my, half the power right now is coming from the sun. That means I have to run the generator less, you know, during the daytime anyways. We don't run the air conditioner at night. That's the biggest load because it just runs solid. Well, no, not really. I'm happy with this. This is pretty cool. Like, you know, for not having to do any install, just pulling it out of a box and plugging it in, that's pretty convenient. The fridge is running right now and the air conditioner is running and the computers and the Starlink and everything. Basically everything's on in the cabin right now. Now, if I pull the solar panel, it's 3 hours runtime. So now it looks like we got 1.9 hours runtime. So now we got 100 watts. There's not a lot of sunlight. Well, it's still bright, but...
Down the road, I'll likely put in a permanent array with surplus residential panels, but first things first. I've still got a roof to finish before I start building solar racking. One project at a time seems to keep me out of trouble. Well, most of the time. So far, the little folding panel has been doing better than I expected. Around 280 watts in good sun has been plenty to keep the fridge happy and the Starlink running, which means I can leave food up here and still keep an eye on the cabin when I'm back home. That's a pretty nice luxury when your nearest neighbor is measured in kilometers instead of fences. I'd also like to thank Blue Eddy for supporting the channel. They didn't ask me to read from a script or tell you it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. They just wanted me to put it to work and tell you honestly how it performs, and I can certainly respect that. If you're already thinking about putting together an off-grid power system, there'll be a discount code and some links below. If you decide it's the right fit for your own project and use them, it helps support the channel and I certainly appreciate that.
10 minutes ago, it was still 280 watts. With the sun really low on the horizon, interestingly, now it's 260. See if a slight adjustment here. The Blue Eddy, see what it's doing now. 260. Which is what it was doing before I moved it. I don't know why. Like, you figure if you point it towards the sun more, you'd get more power out of it, but apparently not, because that's what it was before I moved it. But it's still doing good. 260 watts is nothing to sneeze at. It's definitely enough. The Starlink, I calculated it out, it was like 16 watts. The Starlink Mini, which is nothing. And then the fridge, something like 25 watts. I got to figure out how I'm going to set the solar panel when I leave. It should keep this place running. Excited for that. It's going to keep the cabin going, keep the fridge cold, keep Starlink going. So now we can put in like Wi-Fi cameras so we can monitor the place real time, animals and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting. So Becca could tell us about this because Becca makes solar panels like from wafers in the lab. So she told me about this. This is kind of like this pattern they put on, which something to do with reducing reflection, panel more efficient. This is supposed to be monocrystalline panel. It's hard to say, like I don't see the polycrystalline thing, but it's weird because it's semi-flexible. You know, in the lab, what we'd be using, these wafers, they're like glass. They'd shatter if they bent a little bit. I'm not sure how they do it, but Becca could probably tell us. Becca's PhD, she increased the efficiency of solar panels by putting quantum dots on top of the solar panels. And the quantum dots take in a certain color of light that isn't readily used by the solar panel. So I can't remember if it was, I think it's kind of an ultraviolet light, and then it converts it down, shifts it to a lower frequency. And the interesting thing is that when you put those quantum dots in front, they're, in a sense, they kind of block the light. It's not a silver bullet, but she was able to increase the solar panel's efficiency by like 0.4%, I think is what she quoted, which is pretty phenomenal. It was, you know, To have a result like that on a PhD is pretty impressive. And she had to come up with, I saw that like she had built the machines that actually like coated and laminated the wafers and stuff like that. So pretty interesting stuff. She's a clever girl. Someone once told me that, hey, you know, you're doing that silly. You just loosen up the transmission. Here, I can't adjust the drive. So, okay, let me get back. Let me explain what's going on here for a sec, because maybe I've lost everybody. The drive shaft, transmission, I tried to clamp it to get the...
Now, Trevor can't talk and work at the same time, so I'll explain what happened here. The chain on the Argo started skipping again, and this time it came on fairly sudden. I had a pretty good idea where the trouble was. One of the nuts had worked its way off the bearing holder again, which left the end of the shaft flopping around like it had somewhere else to be. I talked it over with Roger and we picked up some nylock nuts. Hopefully they have a little more determination to stay where they're put. The new chain is still good and tight though, so there is no chance of simply pushing the axle back down into place. This time we're doing it properly and backing off the adjustment screws to put some slack in the chains first. Once the shaft is seated again, we'll tighten everything back up and see whether the old girl is ready to behave herself.
We're on, I guess, hour 3 or I'm in the 3rd hour of the drive. I stopped to get a coffee because I must have not slept well last night. I do better driving at night. It's weird, but I'm less tired if I drive at night. The worst thing I can do is like get up early and then hit the road like at breakfast time. Then by like 10 o'clock, I'm like passing out. But I can drive right through the night. I do well on the 400. I noticed from the view, it actually looks bright outside, but it's not. The sun's gone down. And we're in the concrete jungle. It's actually an interesting thing that I noticed after I spent a month at the cabin, living there, coming back down. Like I grew up in the suburbs. You know, my idea of a concrete jungle was, you know, going downtown Toronto and like, wow, that's the concrete jungle. But coming from the cabin after spending a month there and then coming here to the suburbs, I was like, this is the concrete jungle. Like Becca and I went for dinner and everything was paved and there's like storm drains and, you know, if it rains, the water just gets funneled away. It doesn't happen up on the land where all of the light, it's teeming with life, is what is rightfully theirs. When you pave it all over and you run the water off and you don't let things grow. Hello? Hi. How are you?